Welcome back to Cinderella. She's just doing her lessons again and nothing important happens. Really? Okay, we're begging him to break the curse, so we have to plead with him. Something aches deeply in my chest as Rod's coldness. Please? Rod stares so straight, then he almost drops a pen as he holds it. Please tell me. We have our partners for months now, but I barely... Yes, I know that it is unusual partnership, that most of our help each other has been stable, but I am one good deed away from breaking my curse, while you're still no closer breaking your curse than we started. I will do whatever I can to help you with your curse, Rod. So please, let me help you. And then nothing really important happens. And then we're at the ball. Apparently we're supposed to warn M's. So that will be new. My attention is quickly drawn to where M's is moving between groups of people, instructing herself and making a light conversation. I know this will be frowned upon, but M's safety must come first. I make my way quickly over to M's and curtsy just off to the side, trying to draw a little attention to myself as possible. Princess M, may I have a word with you? M is clearly shocked at my introduction, but makes it well. Excuse me, it appears my maid has something for me. I draw her closer to the wall where the crowd blocks us from view. I wasn't expecting you to be here, Rose. Not that I mind, but won't you get in trouble? There's no time for that. I take her hand in mine and look at her somewhat. You have to watch out for this man in a mask. Sharon brought him to the ball. Why should I be worried then? I couldn't expect tell her that I think he is a witch right now. There are too many people looking. Just please be wary of him. I'm sure there's nothing to be worried about from anyone here, Rose, especially if Sir N is involved. On the contrary, if Sir N is involved, I would also claim staying on your guard, M's. Rod? I turned in shock to see Rod suddenly standing between us. You should trust Rose. Excuse me. I jump back at the sound of Vag's voice. Rod takes a step forward and places his hands on my shoulder to steady me. I don't believe we've been introduced. Vag looked at me for a few moments, but I said nothing. He eventually turns to him, a warm smile on his face. My name is Vag, and you must be Princess M. The tales of beauty did not do you justice. And flashes as Vag reaches for her hands. He presses a kiss on the back of it, so grinning I could feel Rod's sense behind me. May I have the first dance? And bites down on her lower lip. As she stares at him, I became aware of just how quiet the throne room has become. She could not refuse him with so many people watching her. I feel sick, but I could not bring myself to say anything more as M put her hands to Vag. And then he just claims to be, the other guy claims he's a witch and everything. And so we're supposed to do ... like last time. No answer. Be it done all you warn. At the end of the day, you're going to have to decide who and what you will choose. Who or what to choose. Since you are hesitating, one of my staff members. Of course, I apologize for my rude behavior, Your Highness. You seem to know a lot about us. Are you a... My voice lowers. Are you a witch? You're asking the wrong person, Princess. He knows who you really are. I think you two are worrying too much about me. After all, I'm just a pawn in this game. And nothing happens. Very important happens. Sir Bertha, this is where we need to start paying attention. He's going to confess to him about, is this how you really want things to end? Or are you talking about it? And I confessed to him about wanting to go. Have you ever thought about what your family is feeling after they find out the lie about your curse? I'm just concerned about him. About lying, and I don't know about the consequences he has to do for it. You don't have to apologize. Just because you kissed me. I know you did not intend to that in the first place. The truth is, I actually did. And he did. Nothing really important happens. I was about to leave when Rod grabs my arm, suddenly grabs my hand. I turned to him and faced him. Rose, this is the first time I have heard him say my name so warmly. I just want to. I almost could hear my heartbeat ring in my ears. I stare at him with a pun, but Rod says nothing more. Rod fitfully releases my hand with a shake of his head. It's nothing. I cannot help but feel distance. Good night, Rose. Good night, Rod. Nothing important for a while. He looks conflicted. How was the wedding? I quickly clapped my hands over my mouth after I asked the question. Roger saw the person he loved gets married today. I already know how he feels. I apologize. I should not have asked that. Rod looked at me surprised and shook my head. Shocked. He starts chuckling. Why are you laughing? You look like a crime caught in the act of a criminal. I apologize for trying to be civil, Your Highness. Without realizing it, I smiled back at him. It looks like Rod has finally learned to concern with me normally. I hope this will not be the last time I see him smile like this. I tried, Rose. I will now retry for the night. He smiled again and smiles. Good night, Rose. Without an answer, Rod begins to walk away. I'm about to read the story, and then I'm going to stop him. I stop him in my tracks when I see Sir Mithal standing just in front of the room, a main door throne. He looked at me respectfully as I apologized. Sir Mithal. Good evening, Your Highness. Such a lovely evening. Lovely night tonight, isn't it? Only half an hour left before you will turn 18. Do not forget our deal, Princess. Come midnight, I will request your aid and your stage for helping the prince break his curse. I clenched my hand into a fist. Helping the prince break his curse. Rod's killing someone is not what I want. Sir Mithal puts a finger to his lips. You wouldn't want to attract the attention of the knights, would you? There would be quite a bit of explaining to do then. I glance at him, take a deep breath, and lower my voice. You did not tell me that breaking curse caused me killing someone. Oh, but I'm only honoring the end of the deal. Perhaps you should have done your research before agreeing. The grin on his lips never wavered, but I can see the argument in his eyes. I relied on the story Emily told me, and that was the biggest mistake. I should have read the full story, fairy tale. But now it seems you finally know the full story of the prince fairy tale. To break his curse, Prince Rod must kill his beloved with a knife his sister has brought for him. Just like in the fairy tale. Sir Methal continued to smile. I realized that he is speaking slowly, like one might speak to a child. So, Corinne, no. Wait. I start to realize that Sir Methal is purposely drawing me out of this country to stall me. I need to go. Methal does not stop me when I slide past him and open the door to the throne room. The first thing I see when I enter the throne room is Rod. He is standing in the middle of the air with Ems in his arms. Is she alright? Em glance places Ems on the throne. He leans down to look more closely at her sleepy face, then reaches down to take the object before he faces me. I can see the man glim in his hands and know that he is holding knife and broth with him. Where did she get this knife? He pauses and stares at it, then turns suddenly, eyes wondering at some sight in another part of the room. I follow his gaze in the corner of the room, where Victoria floats in mid-air. His eyes are closed and his hands clasped, as if she is just sleeping. But how? She's spry. Such a present splice, isn't it? Sir Methal walks into the throne room with his eyes clapping behind his back. You. Good evening, Your Highness. Is this your good doing? Sir Methal smiles as he turns. Rod only glances at him. Guards. Sir Methal clicks his tongue and chuckles. My apologies, Your Highness, but no one will be able to hear you, no matter how loud you shout. Not even your witch friend will hear you anything through my magic. He knows Lorien is here. I glance around the room and knows that Sir Methal had created his silent green burial. It's the same magic he used yesterday. Now let us go back to the matter at hand. You are running out of time, Prince Rod. It would be a shame to see you press here after the princess went all the trouble asking me to save your life. Rose, what is he talking about? Princess did not want you to die, so she asked me to help break your curse. Sir Methal breaks his arm gently towards both Ems and Victoria. And so I've been so kind enough to set up the stage and gather in the actors for what I hope to be a wonderful final. I cannot help but wonder how this fairy tale will end. Why would you do this, Rose? I did not know it meant killing Victoria, I swear. This is why I came here to stop you. I told you many times there has nothing you could do to help me, and you still refuse to listen to me because I refuse to let you die. Can you not see you're important to me, Rod? Oh my, what a scandal. Rose. I turned to Sir Methal, staring daggers at him. I asked you to help Rod. Why didn't you have to involve Emily in this? It was necessary, requiring that the princess be the one giving him the knife, Your Highness. It was, after all, the mermaid sister that brought her the knife to kill her beloved. So that's how she knew about all of this. She came here crying, begging me to break the curse because she didn't want me to die. I almost wanted to do it, but I could never kill someone. This is why I will always refuse to break my curse, even if I really want to live. Perhaps I misunderstood. Ah, well, this can be Go away. Remembered. Sir Methal waves his hand. His fingers begin to glow with southern magic. What are you doing? Rod? Fake green glows frowns Rod as he goes over. What are you doing to him? What I should have done to begin with. The witch who cursed him said that he must do this on his own recur, but seeing as he refused, I have going to have to bend the rules slightly. Rod stands around and begins walking towards Victoria. The knife is in his hands, glittering, braving the patch of satin moonlight in the room. Princess, he's going to kill Victoria. Stop this, Sir Mythal. Where's Delora when we need her? I rushed towards Rod, wrapped my arms around his waist in an attempt to stop him, but whether through magic or his own strength, he continued onwards. I end up being dragged behind him. Rod snapped out at it. Rod, I must kill her. I glanced in his gleams, his words so Mythal that he sounds nothing like himself. No. Mythal, stop it. This. I will end our deal. My apologies, Your Highness, but but not even I can dispel my magic once it's been cast. It will only fade once it's fun, once needs to be done has been transformed. That, or perhaps, in the most unlikely crime, the prince will simply shake the spell himself. Though Mythal's words were upon, his expression isn't anything, but in fact he looks amused by this. Not so fast. A crystal ball comes sliding towards Mythal. He wraps his hand through the air, and is barely able to turn a shield, protecting himself from Delora's magic. Delorian. I wasn't expecting easy to find all of you, especially with the silence spell, such a nuisance. This is not possible. Help me. Stop Rod. Throwing Sloan appeared, breathing Rod's feet. It spreads up his legs, freezing him in place. I sigh with relief as I collapse on the floor. My arms are sore with the effort of trying to hold Rod back. Mythal clicks his tongue as he faces the Lori. I can't believe you were involved to this play, traitor. Light glowing around Mythal's hands. A moment later, he released the injury towards her. Dory runs, cutting a barrier, successfully protecting herself from Mythal's magic. I always did fancy myself a pretty crusher. Still, to think that you were alive this whole time. Myth? His real name. He is one of the Turnbear's servants. The person was my mother's servant. Allow me to correct you. I am her own friend's servant. I am nothing like that ungrateful bastard who betrayed her in the fairy tale. Who's he talking about? Well, whatever it is you're planning, forget about it. There's no need to let you get away with this. Oh, will you try your best? But first, a reminder. I am a super witch here. Energy clicks in the air as strength begins forming around his hand. The spell is taking longer than his other spells. I noticed during moments before she casts a shield on herself. This is not good. The dog reached a bolt of lightning in Delora's direction. The impact caused both of the shield and the ground shudder. DeLorean. Smoke clears and DeLorean stands unharmed. No sooner as a sigh escaped my lips, another frightening sound goes around the room. There is a loud crack. I realize that it's coming from Delorean's shield. Everything after happens is a blur. Delorean is still trying to hold the shield up when Mythal casts another spell at it. It shatters and magic sleeps through the hits her direction. DeLorean! Really now, have you forgot the most important lesson in defense magic? Always conjure another shield after being hit by a power spell. Or I do apologize. Perhaps I did not give you enough time to cast another shield. How thoughtful of me. Dory lays on the floor, unmoving. DeLorean! I am about to rush to her side when Mythal moves to stand in front of me with a menacing grin on his face. It will do you no good to be indirect, Princess. How could you? How could you hurt another witch? It's not a crime to destroy a traitor. He looks back at Dolores with clear dread. Then he sets his eyes back on me and raises his eyebrow. It is you, foolish, you to try to stop this. You want this, and it will not allow you to regain on our deal. The prince will break his curse, and you will help me. Help you? Yes, I went to great pains to make sure Anne keeps you safe, just so you could repay me. You said that you made a deal with to borrow the knight's actions. And what would I need the knight's assistance for, dear princess? I never needed the knight. I needed Ang to keep you safe. I would have gotten rid of him myself if I wasn't sure the knight would eventually find me. So this whole time, you were only trying to keep me safe, to use me. Use is such a simple, ugly word. Remember, I just want you to help me, princess. I turn around and realize that Dolores' spell on Rod has faded, and he is now only feet away from Dolores' Victor. Rod! I force myself to run towards him as fast as I can manage. I will not let you kill anyone. I do not know what I must do to stop him. So, first thing comes to mind. I put myself between Rod and Victor, just as he's about to plunge the knife into her. Princess! Oh my god. My body is running in pain the moment the blade strikes into my shoulder. Ugh! I collapsed to the floor, holding my injured shoulder. I could feel my blood swiping between my fingers. You fool, you could have easily been killed. I do not care. I love Rod, and I would never let him do something that he would regret for his rest of his life. I cringe, tears come in my vision as pain worries. Rose? I feel Rod's arm around me as current me in the chest. I look at him to see that his eyes are fixed on the blood shoulder. Rod looked at me with anger. He grabbed a handkerchief from his pocket and pressed it to my shoulder. I cannot believe you did this. I stare at him shocked. His lips move. It's not Sebastian speaking, but him. Your voice. You broke your curse. But how? A bright light in us, and a few moments I had to close my eyes against the brightness. I reached to grab my necklace, but it is gone. I opened my eyes in panic, but the necklace is definitely not there. Rose, the glass slipper. I glanced down at the pair of smooth glass slippers on my feet. You broke your curse by breaking mine. The sound of shattered glass and turns to Mythal staring at a broken veil. What is that? Frost has begun to form his feet and is now spreading up his legs. What is happening? Always have a backup, as they say. Seems like you're the only one who forgot the basic command. And never turn your back on an opponent unless you're sure that they are dead. Your broad edges does not warn is who tiled a battle. Laura is now back on her feet, walking towards Mythal. She dusts off her dress as she moves. Florian is unharmed. But how? Did you really think I forgot how to conjure another shield? The frost has now made it up to Mythal's neck. And a little witch like you could never cast this powerful as a spell. Lauren glanced at the glass slippers on my feet. That's where Perfectly new special potion comes in handy. It makes my magic more powerful. The second most basic lesson is to never reaction you're posing. Looks like you were terrible. Mythal opens his mouth to speak, or perhaps to scream. But by the time he opened his mouth, the frost has completely devoured him, leaving him nothing but an icicle. Glory, Roses. Has her blood stopped? I think so. I cannot make out what they are saying after that. My words bend, everything starts to blur, so I close my eyes. I feel Dolores' hand on my forehead. The warmth relaxed me somehow. We got you, princess. Hang in there, Rose. My body becomes heavy by the second, as I lean my head against Rod's chest. And then I feel myself falling into a never-ending darkness. When I open my eyes, the first thing I see is soft rays of light sweeping through my window. I'm in my room. I attempt to sit up and turn when I feel a sharp pain in my shoulder. I reach out to touch it, only to realize that it has neatly bandaged. Delaying the injury, my body feels oddly light, stronger than it ever was before. I remember. I place myself in front of Victoria to stop Rod from hurting her. But where did this energy come from? The door opened and Em walks in with a tray of food in her hand. She stopped when she realized I am staring at her, and nearly drops her tray and rushes to stand beside me. Rose, you're finally awake. I was so worried about you. I'm so sorry. This was all my fault. What are you talking about? It was mine, not yours. I remember bringing the knife to Rod, but I can't remember much of what happened before or after that. Just then, when I woke up the throne room, I saw you were bleeding in Rod's arms. I thought you were going to. The rest of him's word breaks into pieces. She is beginning to cry. I'm so sorry for forgetting about you. I made you work too hard while you were my personal maid, and I shake my head with a sigh. It was not your fault. I was cursed, Ems. But I look at her, tears staring her face. She was not at fault, yet here she is crying. She really is a good person. I spread my arms. Rose? I turn away, suddenly embarrassed. You look like you need a hug. Em stared at me for a few moments. I'm about to recall what I suddenly felt her arms around me. I'm so happy. I hug her back and stroke her hair. I cannot help but smile at the warmth that spread in my chest. Thank you. And pulls back, her face full of confidence. What? What will happen to you and Rod now? I saw how close you two of you got. And I saw how Rod looked at you that night. Wait, last night, so today is my birthday. And the day I become the bear is the reason I feel so strange energy. Oh. Ems walks up to me and doll shelves and picks up one of the dolls she had placed there months ago. Happy birthday. I meant to give this to you earlier as a surprise, but before you were cursed. Anyways, I know it's not as pretty as the other dolls from your collection, but I hope you like it. It's beautiful. Thank you. I take the doll in my arms and as a knock sounds on the door. Come in. Door opened and Ron stepped inside. His eyes widen when he sees Ems. Em? Oh, I was just about to leave. Em slides off my bed and heads to the door, but before she closes it, she turns to us once again. I know how complicated this will be for both of you, but I want you to know that I will support you. My lips are sealed. Ems winks before finally closes the door behind her. This is awkward since it's in my bedroom before Rod approaches me and sits on the edge of the bed. How are you feeling? It still hurts, but I'll be fine. What's wrong? I'm just not used to hearing your voice from your own lips. Oh. But I see that you still have Sebastian with you. I've grown fond to him, to company set him aside. He's helped me through a lot. Bummer, I can't read his thoughts anymore. That was never any need for you to do that in the first place. Is that so? Rod shakes his head and sighs slightly. So what happened last night? How that you were able to break your curse? You did not kill Victoria. In order to the fairy tale, the little mermaid could return her harmonies only if the prince loved her back. Though it never happened in the fairy tale, it is still an element of her curse. But still, because the prince never fell in love with her, the only way for the mermaid to live was to kill him. I fell in love with you unknowingly when you told me you loved me last night. That broke my curse. I felt my cheeks turn warm. Rod coughs, his own cheeks flustered. So there you have it. The Little Mermaid never had a fairy tale ending, but I did. I'd never had to kill Victoria. But because my curse started with Victoria, I assumed it had to end with her too. It turned out that the person I loved just needed to love me back. I was mistaken. I never needed to be with Victoria. I see. We stare at each other for a few moments. The awkward sense returns. I change the subject as quickly as I can. What became of Sir Mithal? Dora brought him back to Lady Peripheral. She is the one who will properly punish him. And what of Victoria? Dora returned her to her home yesterday. She does not remember anything that happened. Everything is back to how it was. Then, you're back to being my stepbrother. I cannot help but feeling crestfallen at the truth. Blood binded, but so simply blood. Rod and I could never have what either of us want. I don't want to forget the feelings I have for you, Rose. If I had never made the deal with the witch, then maybe we might have actually able to be together. But have you not been cursed? Our paths never would have been crossed. I reached for Rod's hand, and he laced his fingers through mine with a small smile. I love you, Rod. I love you too. But Rod leans forward and kisses my cheek. I know. 1 month later. Ever since I broke my curse, I became the new term bearer. I have been trained under Peripheral and Dolores so I can learn to control my newfound powers. I never wanted this responsibility, but it is a burden I was born into. It is necessary to help Mithal the balance between lightness and darkness that has been misplaced for a long time. Now that I am new term bearer, Peripheral wants the two of us to work together and make the peace. I do not wish to cause any more pain or suffering to the people, especially to the people who I cherish. Sometimes I wonder that what Sir Mithal wanted me to do for him, but this is not important anymore. I still have much to learn, but right now, as a new bearer, my part is to get rid of the fairy tale curse once and for all. For the time being, everyone at Mithal waits patiently for the day that I learn to lift their curse. Since everyone's trapped, my relationship with Arya and Ems has improved. Emma is fond of calling me the best sister, even though I am only one she has. My relationship with the king, however, has yet to be mellowed. I am doing my best to open up to him and give him a chance, but my efforts are slowly going. I do not ask why he acts the way that he does in the past, but I know that in order to move forward, I must go of the path. It's finally time. I have been waiting for this all day. I head back to my room to change my dress into something less complicated. Afterwards, I head into town, into the forest, for my discussing meeting. It is a relief the king allows me to leave the palace on my own. I would not be able to come here with guards. I guess me being the Terran Baron puts him at ease. If the tile raises him and allows me to come here on my own to meet Rod, then I'm not complaining. Rod still uses the secret passageway he has always used to sneak out of the palace, and knows about our secret meeting and helps cover for us dissension if needed. It makes me happy that M approves of our relationship, that we do not have to keep it a secret from absolutely everyone. At first, Rod and I both attempt to keep our distance without making it seem too obvious to everyone around us, though Agnew seems to suspect something is going on between the two of us. She has not asked any questions, and was not happy with our direction. She said she felt terrible that we would be forced to let go of something so precious on account of our titles. She was right. More than that, it was difficult for two of us to end our feelings for each other. In the end, we end up with a social event. Even if it's temporary, we decided to secretly meet up in the forest every once in a while so that we could be together without any further feels, even just for a while. When I caught sight of Rod, I run towards him, throw my arms around his neck. I feel Rod snuggle his face into the crook of my neck. May I have this dance? I take Rod's hand and begin dancing to a slight song. The first time I danced with him, it was a point. It was when neither of us liked each other. I remember this as I stare at him. What? Is there something on my face? I just remember how much you hated me back then, and now here we are. Fate sure loves to toy with us. I smile at Rod. Just for a little longer. I want to be his side. I don't know how long we can keep this up, but every day I wish for the same thing. I wish that I could live my life openly loving Rod. I wonder, would that dream ever be possible? And that was Cinderella. And we got the good ending with Rod, which was great ending. A little upsetting. I didn't expect him to stay Prince. Look, there's even a picture of him now in the section of the Little Mermaid. So we have Red Riding Hood, Beauty and the Beast, Rumpelstiltskin, and then I don't know what this one is. Still, we'll figure it out, I guess. Peace, guys.